Linda Gurung-Shehars. Okay, last video for today. We're going to talk through some of the best practices from the Memories in the Making art program. And so we might have talked, you might have seen other videos or info from me and Bee Growth about Memories in the Making. This is an art engagement training and approach and activity practice to help individuals who are living with dementia or other cognitive impact to be able to express themselves through art. And so for right now, I'm going to share some tips on watercolors specifically, and then one other idea. So good best practice for Memories in the Making is starting, well, I would start with this, but it's on the bottom of my pile. So is the watercolor paints themselves. I'm going to show you two examples, and what you see here, you see how the colors are so vibrant. The color of this paint is how, when it's dry, is how it actually will look on the paper. And this is important because if you buy maybe like a kid's set of watercolors, often the colors are muted, and so your person may not be able to distinguish what color is going to come out. The other thing I really like about these, and I'll show you in this is I think a Pelikan set, and this is I forget who this is. Oh, a Talons set. The other way, and I don't get any benefit from these, I'm just sharing. These are not affiliate links. The other way that is helpful is you can actually pop out the colors. And so maybe your person is able to successfully use the whole set, but maybe if they're later in their journey and they get kind of overwhelmed or distracted by too many options, you can just pull out the few colors that they're going to use in that moment. So that's one thing to think about with Memories in the Making and watercolor paint. Another thing to think about is the brushes themselves. So Memories in the Making uses artist quality supplies because within Memories in the Making, it's a way to honor and respect and acknowledge the dignity of the person as the artist. And so we have a bunch of different types of brushes, and a good best practice within Memories in the Making, even if you've never painted yourself or you're not sure really what each of these brushes are for, is you may find that giving your person a choice of brushes maybe kind of helps them to further activate. So each step they're able to choose. 1, 2, 3, 4 more, 5 more ideas. Also, if your person has difficulty holding the brush, or it seems because of their dexterity or whatever they have going on, you can also use foam to increase the diameter. And for some people that is more comfortable and empowering. You may find that your person enjoys not just painting with brushes, but dabbing with sea sponges. So this is another way to use. And then within Memories in the Making, we use, I mentioned before, high quality artist materials. And so this is 140-pound watercolor paper. But what I'm showing you here is that you may find tearing up into different sizes also speaks to your person. So I mentioned before about having them choose the brushes. What we're doing is we're kind of like breaking down each step and helping them to get engaged in the painting exercise. Now, your person may, just pick up the paint and go, but for many of us, we kind of need to ease our way into it. So we might choose the paper first, and maybe a particular size speaks to them, and then choose the brushes and then the colors, etc. Second to last thing is how we have the paper. So this is the watercolor paper. This is just a foam core board. But what's important here is that the blue painter's tape helps the paper to pop out. Otherwise, especially if your person is using white paper on a light colored table, they may not see where the paper begins and ends. So this helps to make the paper pop out. It also helps when the painting is done, then as you peel it off, it's a nice clean line. And if your person has a little bit of trouble with their mobility or dexterity, it keeps the paper in place. last item, and I know partly I'm sharing products and partly I'm sharing best practices from Memories in the Making. These are dual tip brushes. So they look kind of like a pen, and on the one end, it's a tip that is like, I'm trying to get it so you can see it properly, a tip that is almost like a brush, and on the other end is a fine tip. And so you may find, if your person has not been especially artistic through their life, you may find that starting with a dual tip brush might be a good place to start and maybe kind of activate their comfort and ability with painting, and then switch to the brushes or back and forth. But those are some ideas and best practices from Memories in the Making. Thank you.